This is the SportsbuzzXL podcast, where we share the stories of current and former athletes and beyond, telling their stories of where their journey began and the obstacles and adversity they had to overcome and what it took for them to achieve their dream. You are now mic'd up with Tim Stein, and this is the SportsbuzzXL podcast. All right, I want to welcome everybody to this show, and I want to introduce our guest here, Walter Rouse, 2024 NFL draft to the Minnesota Vikings. How you doing, man?
Doing good. Thank you, Tim, for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Right on, right on. So I guess before we start talking about your journey playing football, draft night, the day you got drafted, how was that for you and your family? What emotions were going on? I mean, I'm sure there was a lot of stress, but can you take us through how that was for you?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, the fact that the draft weekend and the draft day was here. It was crazy to me. All the hard work. No matter what happened that day, it would have been a culmination to whether I got drafted or undrafted, culmination to that. And the fact that I have my family and my friends or my loved ones around me was great. And I'm so thankful that they could be there for me that day and that all the hard work they had put into me, that there's me getting drafted or whatever team I go to shows that what they did paid off. And, I wanted them to be there for that and, having that support. And, I then, it was we're waiting through the first day and the second day and then finally getting to the third day. And I wasn't even in front of the TV at the time. And I saw the phone ring, it said spam risk. So I'm like, that's the one call that day I'm not gonna hang up on. So
Yeah,
spam risk, I'm gonna answer anything. And so answer it and it's crazy. And I'm like, in my head, the Vikings, I'm like, oh my God, the Vikings. And in that moment, I'm like, man, all sacrifices my mom made, all it was my aunt Debbie made, Grandma Laverne, my grandma Gigi, my aunts, people who have passed on, looking down on me. It's like, wow, I know I have so much more to go, but we did it. We made I was so happy in that moment. And it's hard to remember the conversation because my mind was racing, going a million miles a second. You know, Quasi was asking me questions, and I was trying, okay, what's the best response? He's like, are you an Oklahoma man or a Stanford man? And I'm like, I'm the best of both worlds, coach. You're getting the best guy. And, I was just thanking for the opportunity. And then when I got off the phone, I was like, Minnesota. And people scream. I don't even realize when I said, then I was like, we going to the Vikings. Then people were like, woo. Then everyone
yeah.
started screaming. And I was just so happy. And then I hear my name called with the first pick or the 170th pick, the sixth round in 24 NFL draft. The Minnesota Vikings select Walter Rouse. Hear my name called on TV. Man, because I've watched the draft for so many years, as long as I can remember. Everyone's name getting called from the first round to the seventh round, and now it's my turn for that to happen. You can't. It doesn't get any better than that. It really does not get any better than that. And it's just I've been through a lot. I mean, my draft process didn't even start the right way. I had the flu, so
Man.
just get to this point. It's been awesome, and I'm here right now with the Vikings behind me, and which is great. We're right across from the facility, but we've been working hard, and after a long day of practice today, thank God it's Friday, but it's been great. I've been having an awesome time.
Yeah, I guess it doesn't even matter what team you really went to, just to have that moment that
Right.
you were selected, you know. Yeah, that is a big
No,
deal.
absolutely. Yeah, I used to think about, man, I should have gone earlier, or I shouldn't have been in the sixth round. I should have gone the fourth, the fifth round. But I'm right where God wants me. I was, I got picked in the sixth round, 177 pick. That's where I need to be, and I'm with the Vikings. That's the right place. That's the right organization I'm with, and I have no complaints about being here.
Good deal, good deal. Is it still cold up there? I mean, is it warming up a little bit?
It's
think I lost you there for a moment.
Sunny, nice in the 70s, maybe 80s, but 60s and 70s. But the weather's been great.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. So, when did your football journey begin? Was it always football? Did you play other sports? Like, what was it for you? And when did you know that this was the sport that you wanted to be with?
So it wasn't always football. It actually was basketball. I thought I was going to go to school for basketball and go to the NBA. Especially my dad's side loves basketball, so I love basketball. And my grandfather, my dad's side, he made the who actually I'm named after him, Walter Rouse. He made the winning shot in the 1863 NCAA championship for the Loyola Ramblers to win that game. And so I was like, I'm gonna be just like him. I'm gonna go to college and go to the NBA. And if I play overseas, maybe do that too. And it never happened for me. I had some good games and whatnot, and playing AAU, but it just, I worked at it too. I worked hard at it, but I just didn't. I wasn't getting carried away. Some guys were at my age, especially ones that were destined to go to the NBA. And I tried doing football a couple times, but it didn't really happen until I got to Sidwell, which is where I was at for middle school. For seventh and eighth grade, did a little like some padded practices in some games, but it wasn't real football. Freshman year of high school, that's when I really just jump into football. My head coach is like, hey, wants me to come out play for the team, and I'm like, I'm interested in it as well. And I was like, I think I want to do this as well. This seems pretty cool. But I have to get permission from my mom and dad. And so, I have to convince them. They're like, no, absolutely not. No, no, no. And so I'm like, but no, like, it's going to be fun. Like, let me play. And so it's the craziest thing. I made a PowerPoint presentation, of 2 slides saying why I should play football. And one of them was I have a band of brothers, it's another family, and I will teach me discipline and I won't procrastinate as much. And after that, they were like, oh, we just can't say no now. So I had made a presentation and, to show them, like, let me play. And that was the very first time I really started playing football. I actually started off at right guard. That was my first ever position. And I also, and I didn't play, I played some defense too. I didn't get that until sophomore year. But later in the year, they moved me to left tackle. And really, since before getting to the Vikings, I've been at left tackle ever since through sophomore, junior year of high school, freshman, sophomore, junior year, and senior year um, of college, and my 5th year at Oklahoma. So once I moved over to the left, I just seemed to stay there. But that's how I really got into football. And I didn't even want to go to the NFL, honestly, until I got to like almost my second year at Stanford. That's saying I wasn't playing football at the same level, or I wasn't attacking each game with the 100%. But it wasn't until after that COVID season where I was like, I want to do this like full time, absolutely. And after that happened, it was like, pedal to the metal. Like this is where I want to get to. Now I'm an academic guy. And I had plans to go to med school, and I was using football at Stanford to get an education, and then go to med school after that. But I realized like football is a very small window, and it's not you can't do it forever. And because I wanted and each year and each game, I fell in love with the game more and more and more. And I realized, okay, I'll do med school. I'll academics, get my master's and whatnot. I can do that after. And I've learned about the NFLPA, about them coming back and paying for us, which is great, by the way. I thought I would pay out of pocket for things. Nope, that's awesome. But yeah, after that sophomore year at Stanford, that's when things really got going for me. And that's when I actually got, contacted by agents and things like that. I'm like, you want to talk to me about playing where in the NFL? You think I can play? Nah, you must be another Walter Rouse in the country that you want to talk to. And it was crazy because when our agents first called me, I actually hung up the phone. I thought it was like a prank call or something. So they must have been. Once I realized, I was like, "Oh, let me call them back." Like, hey, how's it going? You still want to talk? Interested? But that's how I started. That's how I got started playing football in high school, and I continued through at Stanford.
Right on, right on. So for those kids who didn't start, I guess, in the Pee Wee leagues and things like that, and they're thinking about starting play football in high school, but they have doubts and they feel like, nah, I should have started earlier. I don't I can't compete with these other kids that are already on the team, blah, blah, blah. What do you say to them? Like to, because you would hate to see them give up on that dream. You know what I mean? So, what's your message to them for for those that have doubts about themselves?
It's really, it all comes down to having, that confidence and belief in yourself. And I can understand, because I was the same way, that you may not have it at that point, but you always have to just rely on your support system and your family. Because if no one else, you're always going to have your parents, brother, sister, your relatives. And, even when I was playing basketball and I was like, I'm terrible. I suck. I can't do this. I do that. My mom was always right there. My grandfather was always right there to tell me, I can be anything I want to be as long as I put my mind to work. You know, hard work pays off. And just having those positive, affirmations and it's just those constant, like, okay, you're doing good, you're all right, allowed me to like transition into middle school and high school to where I was able to do it myself. And really, with these kids playing football so young, just have faith, have belief. Like you can do it. Like there's no task that's too small. If a coach is getting on you, he's yelling on you, that's great because he's not talking to you in my experience, that means he's not that interested. So
Yeah.
it's hard, when a coach is getting at you and whatnot, and you may not want to hear it, and you may be embarrassed by your friends and whatnot. But just you take the coaching, and then you just keep pushing forward. You keep moving forward. You might see your friends laughing at you or your opponents laughing at you. Don't get upset. Use that as motivation. And even like we're talking about elementary school, Pee Wee, Pop Warner, whatnot. That's okay. We don't have to wait till we get to high school. Like, okay, now it's time to put in the work. You can start as young. As soon as you become self-aware and whatnot, you want to be good at something. Be good at that thing. Just go at that with everything you have. You have questions. Ask your mom. Ask your dad. That your parents were. Your parents. They're going to help you out. They're going to do whatever they can to help you succeed. And not only in football or other sports, but in school as well. I like school, but I didn't like all of school. There's some things I didn't want to do. I didn't like to do. But, if it was something I had a problem with or I couldn't really figure it out, I could always ask the teacher or ask my mom or dad and I had questions. So after a lot I've just said, but really have confidence in yourself. You're there for a reason and you can do it. And if something happens where, you might, leave the team or go somewhere else, just have faith. Have the faith. You're going to be all right. You're going to be this. We're just in elementary school or middle school. You have the rest of your life to worry about. You are going to be fine. And just go after everything. And this not only applies to football, but with 100%. Attack everything like it's the last thing you're going to do with 100% intensity. And I think confidence, having faith, going after 100%, you're going to be all right. And as you get older, you're going to be able to see what other things work for you as well. Like something so simple as like, I kind of realized that I really liked watching, and this is going to sound weird, but like I would get up to go work out at Sidwell in the mornings at like 5 a.m. or whatnot. And I would listen to like YouTube videos about, okay, different, like, never give up motivation, these different types of videos. And that would get me going for the day, for the
Those
week.
things work.
And like I'm saying, like it had me ready to run through a brick wall. And I started being more of a quote guy. And I carry around these quotes in my head with me. And one of them is, today I will do what others won't. So tomorrow I can accomplish what others can't. Like, what am I going to do today that you're not going to do? That's going to allow me to get a leg up in the competition. I mean, I may have gotten drafted. I'm still trying to make the team. It's not a given. If I don't do anything, I'll probably get cut. Like the NFL, I found out a little bit about that today. It's a cutthroat business. They could cut you, and it's no hard feelings, but
It's
you're
business.
gone. It's
Yeah.
So I'm trying to make a team. If I can get in a little bit earlier, watch a little bit of extra film, what can I do to get myself better? So there's that quote. Then this is one of the quotes I adopted when I was at Oklahoma: "Is greatness is on the other side of I don't feel like it." And so when you hear that, you're like, what does that mean? So when I would get up at like 4 a.m. or 4:30 a.m. in the morning to go run, work on my sets in Oklahoma, there were times where I got up and I did not want to get out of bed. Like it's 4 a.m., 4:30. I'm like, man, let me just go back and sleep. 20 more minutes, 30 more minutes, an hour, I'll be fine. But greatness is on the other side of that. I don't feel like getting up. Greatness is on the other side of that. You don't want to get out the morning, greatness on the other side. So make the decision to get out of bed and get to work, get your clothes on, go to Oklahoma, go wherever you need to do, go to school, and that's your path. You're on your path to greatness. So I kind of adopted being a quote guy, and that's like kind of the things that's been like really driving me ever since. But find those little things that work for you. And I had a lot of confidence issues when I was still in high school, even the beginning of college. But you're there for a reason. You're in college for a reason. Stanford recruited me. I had many other schools recruited me, but I'm there for a reason. Not because I was bad. If I was bad, they wouldn't have, recruited me.
Yeah.
They wouldn't have. I wouldn't have accepted the offer to go there. So you're here for a reason. I'm here at the Vikings for a reason. I got drafted for a reason. They didn't just watch me. Oh, he gave up 20 sacks and blah blah blah. Let's draft him. No, you're not at this school. You're not playing this sport. They don't. This coach doesn't have you starting or playing because you can't kick a ball correctly, hit the ball, or shoot the ball in the basket. No, because you can do those things the right way. And that's why you're there for a reason. You are important. You are somebody. And just remember that every single day. Because there's times where I was in high school and I was told, oh, I'm never going to amount to anything. Or, you're not going to get offers from the big schools like, Alabama, Ohio State, Florida, Oklahoma. And I got three of those. I'm talking to offensive coordinator at Alabama, talking to some people at Clemson and got Ohio State, got Michigan. Michigan just won a national championship. It's a huge school. Like, no matter what you hear it, don't let it take you down. Let it build you up. Let it build you up constantly. That's almost better than the cheers you'll get because the satisfaction that I get for myself when I got drafted, this in the back of my head, like I know all the haters that were concerned about me, that didn't want me to go or amount to nothing. I just know they were just fuming that I got drafted. I'm here and doing, and I'm having success. That makes me happy. Like I was, I shoved it in their face and just constantly keep doing it. So like I said, have faith, have the confidence, attack everything with 100%, and you are somebody, and you are where you are supposed to be.
Yeah. So there's kids out there who they don't have that family structure, so they don't have, you know, a parent's guidance, a mother's guidance, a
That's true.
father's guidance, or anything like that. So for those that have to self-motivate,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm sure you showed up to practice sometimes and you're thinking to yourself, I don't feel like being here today. So what do you do to get your mind right to keep going? And for those that don't have that guidance, what can they do, in your opinion, that will keep them from falling back, if you will? Like they really love this game, but they don't have direction. So
Right.
what do you say to those kids?
I think the very fact that they are, especially with football, they want to do football and they're, part of the game at practices and doing stuff. That's a great step in the right direction because that football in itself is like a guidance for them. If they don't have that right, the family structure, even the one or two-parent household living with an uncle or grandmother, whatnot, getting into something like football, which helped me in terms of like how I was procrastinating in my discipline and whatnot, and really having a second family. Like, I love those guys from high school and college, and now getting to love these guys in the NFL. That's like a whole other family. Like these are your brothers. And so, having that structure, like I said, that's a great step in the right direction. And also the fact that where this sport can take me moving forward, where it can take me where I am now to where I am in the future, whether that means I'm getting to a college fully funded, paid, I don't pay anything, or even beyond that, and going to the NFL or doing something like maybe especially in the world of NIL. You don't have to wait to go to NFL anymore to get like money, like change lives. You can do that in college now, and I think that those external factors act when imposed, like when someone is like, okay, these things can happen in my life, this is what I need to do. Those can turn into like internal motivation for themselves, like okay, you guys stick at this. I mean, I want to be here today, but I just got to keep working. I just got to keep pushing myself because there's been many times where I didn't want to go to practice. whether it was AAU practice, basketball, whether it was high school, college, and any of those practices. But what the very fact that you're showing up and that you're going, like I said, that's a great step in the right direction. And you just got to keep doing it. Go get the practice, do the work. You might not want to be there. If you're having a problem, talk to the coach. Talk to one of your friends. Maybe you can talk to one of their friends and their parents or whatnot. There's always going to be, or I won't say always. I recognize that everyone's situation is different, and that some people truly have it, really hard, and they are fighting and clawing to just have like an ounce of what someone else may have, and they don't have to do anything for that. But just keep working at it, and it's going to come. In my experience, and where I've talking to kids in DC and Maryland, and they have come from less fortunate backgrounds. Just keep working at it, and you're going to get it. And football for them has been a great guidance moving forward. So hopefully I answered your question.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, my thing is, it's like when people want to succeed at something but they fail, it kind of deters them from even trying again. But the way I see it, if you're going to fail
Right,
forward, and
right, absolutely.
you don't really learn from winning. You learn from losing or failing. So you take the lesson that you learn and you correct it, and that's going to give you a stepping stone to inch forward.
Right,
So
absolutely. I think.
yeah, go
Okay.
ahead.
I was saying this is just in life, and I heard this from Denzel Washington, actually from like one of my YouTube watching on YouTube. But I think this not only relates to football and other sports, but just life in general. He says, don't just aspire to make a life for yourself. Aspire to make a difference, and that doesn't mean whether has like you trying to change the world or whatnot, but like a difference in your life. Like truly try to change. Like I'm just not trying to get you're not you're just getting by or something whatnot. Like what about your life that you can make a difference in a positive way? And then when you get that, how can you make a difference in someone else's life? And then
But
keep passing it on and moving it forward.
yeah, I mean, for me, when somebody has something negative to say, and like what I tell myself, and I'll tell other people the same thing, but it's like I guess my thing is opinions don't write checks. So
Hmm.
that's my way of ignoring the negative opinions that some people might say.
Okay.
Like, and
Right.
it doesn't necessarily mean that it's about money, but it's more so your opinion's not going to better me. So that's how I can ignore like negative
Hmm.
noise.
Right. No, I think that's a great way to ignore the haters and that negative noise, or the keyboard warriors as some people call them.
Yeah, I mean, and even the more negativity you have, and the more enemies you have, if you will, haters, whatever, you're doing something right,
Right.
and they're hating because they're not doing what you're doing.
Hmm. They're
So
concerned about you.
right, right. They don't even know what's going on in their own lives. They're just worried about what you got going on.
Absolutely.
So in your college career, what game stands out the most to you? I guess which one do you remember the most, and what was it that made you have that memory of that certain game?
Well, um, Oklahoma fans would probably be able to guess this one for me, but it definitely would have to be from the season, Red River rivalry, the Texas game. That's without a doubt the most memorable game, even without how it finished. I mean, just getting there and you're seeing at the Cotton Bowl, like the colors split down the middle, Texas, Oklahoma, one side cursing you out, one side cheering you on. The atmosphere was insane. I think it's the best atmosphere outside of like the New Year's Six bowl games. Like it was deafening. And then one side you could hear, the other side you couldn't hear a single word. And we had snap problems and whatnot. But yeah, that definitely was the best game or best memory and most memorable game for me. And the thing is, I didn't even have that good of a. It wasn't my best game. I was doing well, but especially with the run game, we're trying to get things going. Devontae Sweat and Byron Murphy, there's some dogs in front. Not gonna lie, that's why they're in the NFL now. They got drafted,
Mm-hmm.
but we still just kept pushing forward. And I think one of the things that I think about a lot was in that last moment when we had a minute 17 left and we go down 75 yards to score. You know, during the 2 minute drill, you would think it would be the most stressful time of the game, but for me going out on the field, I was at I was at my calmest. I was the most peaceful I was the whole game. And it was because of how much we had prepared for situations like that leading up to it. Not even knowing, like we didn't know we were going to be in that situation, but the amount of things that we did after practice, doing 2 minute drill, 4 minute drill, three, all those different situations, and in the red zone, 50-yard line, 75, you got to go this many yards in this amount of time, allowed us to get on that field and drive down and score, because of what we prepared for and what we did,
Yeah.
which is why we came down about, was it 63 yards at the 12-yard line or whatnot, and we were able to get that pass off to Nick. Now, when it came to me and how I was blocking two guys at the same time, you can't really prepare for that. I kind of just, it goes with the flow. But really just my instincts, that when that happened just took over. And, I really should have been, out on the corner or safety coming off the edge. And, DG man gotten sacked or hit, and the ball, maybe not a touchdown would have been scored, but coming out, getting two guys, then him hitting Nick Anderson for a touchdown. I didn't even know we had I knew we scored, but it didn't really hit me. I was like, if you look on the film, I'm not celebrating. I'm like, okay, we scored. And I'm like, okay, we're up. And then I get to the sideline, and that's when it hits me. I'm like, we're gonna win this game. We're gonna beat Texas. We're gonna. And then my coach was like, "You blocked two dudes," and I was like, "I blocked two." It was just getting, just really, just everything all hitting me all at once. I think I was just getting out of that I was then that state of calmness and peacefulness. I was getting out of that, and everything just hit me all at once. But without a doubt, that's definitely the most memorable game. And no offense to Stanford and Cal, but I thought
Yeah.
that was a rivalry. You see Oklahoma, Texas. Now that's a rivalry. That's life and death right there. I mean, I was at Oklahoma for a year, and I developed some animosity towards Texas. You can't mention Cal around me. Definitely can't mention Texas around me now. I mean, Coach Schmidt, that strength coach, we were doing med ball sit-ups since January, every single day for lift. You know how many med ball sit-ups we did? 49, the score of the previous game. So we would not forget. And then if someone messed up, we got to start at 0. Oh, we're at 40. Oh, yeah, start at 0. Somebody messed up. Someone not counting. Oh man, the amount of times where I was like, I don't know if I can do hate it. And just being around the people in Oklahoma, you really saw how passionate they were. So without a doubt, the Red River rivalry. And who would have thought it would have gone down that way? That's, people will remember that game forever. And that's insane to be a part of something like that. So definitely the Red River rivalry. Now, if I never went to Oklahoma, it probably would have been when at Stanford we beat Oregon, the number 3 team in the country, when I was a junior, and we were unranked at the time as well. So that's number 2. But Red River rivalry, that's number 1.
Right on, right on. So transitioning, you went through the draft and you got drafted by the Vikings. How is it up there in that locker room and hanging out with those teammates?
I mean, it's great. It's a lot better than I thought it was going to be. I think I kind of just prepared myself for the, hoping for the best, but prepare for the worst type situation where I'm coming as a rookie. What are they going to have me doing and whatnot? And we still have rookie duties and whatnot, but it's nowhere as near as bad as I thought it was going to be. And then really it's a great group of guys.
Yeah.
Truly a great character, great attitudes. Really passionate about the game of football. Really serious about this game. I mean, it's the job, it's professional, so it's understandable. But they approach it with a great level of detail, especially what we're picking up on. You're seeing from CD, Brian, even talking to DQ and Garrett and just all those vets in the room. And it's been great to learn and talk from them. And it's when I'm interacting, I sit in front of Ed and T Rob, and they don't treat me like, of course I'm a rookie and whatnot, but when I speak with them, it's as if like I'm not someone they're speaking down to. When I talk to Bo, he's someone that he's actually wants to make me like see me get better. He's actually talking to me. I'm asking the questions, they're answering. I'm talking to CD. He's like, yeah, here's what I know. This is what I do and whatnot. If he doesn't know me, tell me to talk to Coach Troop. It's all around great, especially even the rookies coming in too. And there's one, and I think it's 4 or 5 other rookies as well, O-line rookies, and we actually about to go hang out tomorrow. It's not just like, okay, we see each other in football and that's it. We'll see each other outside of the locker room and whatnot. And I can't wait to get to know these guys further. Coach Coop, it's really kind of a difference between what I've been used to and been accustomed to since going back to my AAU days in middle school. I've always had a coach that was like in my face, wet lips, spit, just dang, like, dang,
Stop
coach,
spitting on
like,
me.
getting in your face, like cursing, like I can't tell you the amount of things I heard that just made me think, like, damn, coach, like, you didn't have to go at me that bad, like when it's not happening to you, you're like, oh snap, like, oh, coach, God, and then when it happened to you, like, and coach, like, chill, but like Coach Coop, he's not like that, like you see, like he's passionate about the game of football. He cares for what he does and for us, and he's serious about his job. But the way he has coaching style and whatnot, it's actually very refreshing. To not have a guy just constantly spitting in your face,
Yeah.
24/7 and whatnot. And even like as rookies, we may mess up and whatnot. The way he approaches us and how we've been in terms of the installs and the mistakes and correcting those mistakes. I've really been appreciative of that. And like I've never had a problem approaching coaches before, but approaching him and asking him questions just feels a lot better about it, because it doesn't feel like someone is like, huh? He's not gonna give you one of them looks like and make you seem like you might be the dumbest dude in the world. But no, and then especially the assistant O-line coach as well, him too. The O-line room is great. And they have like different, themes or traditions and whatnot. Like, of course, we got the O-line fines. I think I have at least like 250 in fines already. So, but we put that money together under the season and we get to go somewhere. And then I think like during the year, like during Thanksgiving, Halloween, Christmas, like the O-line room is like the place to be. Like they dress it up. Like I'm telling, like, and it's the rookie's job to do so. So,
Yeah.
that's another big thing that I'm actually kind of excited about. But no, the O-line room is run by a great group of guys.
Right on, right on. So you feel at home at least.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't really found a place yet. Been at the hotel. The
Yeah.
tradition has not been that bad. It actually just feels like I'm like a freshman in college almost, because
Right.
I got my dorm, the facility's right there. I walk to the facility, it's like there, back and forth, back and forth. Um, but yeah, the tradition hasn't been that bad, and every day I get to the locker room and I see my nameplate and my locker. I'm like, dang, like
Yeah.
I'm really here. Like I know the work that has to come, but I am really here. Like this, it's still unbelievable every time I see it. That I'm in the NFL now. But yeah, I feel right at home. I think I'm gonna like it here. Got some great food. I was looking up some cool breakfast spots I can go to on Sunday, and Mall of America, which has been awesome. So trying to explore that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely feel at home here, and the fans are great. They are awesome.
All right, we're back. So yeah, you were talking about locker room, I believe. So it's definitely, so you say it feels like, does it feel like a home away from home? Or you miss home?
Ooh. but I won't say I miss home. But it doesn't feel like a home away from home yet, but it's definitely getting there.
Yeah.
Especially, I know I'm going to be here for, uh, a good amount of time. Hopefully the rest of my career. But
Right.
I definitely think it's getting there.
Right on. Right on. Well, I'm gonna pull for you. Um, I hope you have a great season, a great year, um, a great career there. I'm gonna I'm gonna hope that you do well, but I can't say that I hope the Vikings do well when they play the Commanders. I just can't do that. So
Yeah, it's like a conflict of interest for me. I mean, like,
right.
God, I always said I would love to be alive and I want to witness the Commanders win a Super Bowl. And I'm like, I still say that now, but it's like, Vikings, then
Now you
Commanders win a
can't.
Super Bowl. Woo! Yeah,
Yeah.
right?
You're like, man,
Yeah.
that's all right though. They can win after your career. I mean,
Yes,
I need them to win
absolutely.
now. I need them to win now.
Hmm.
But that's me being a fan.
Right. Yes,
But
sir. Yes, sir.
the funny thing is, I used to pull for the Vikings. I guess you could say when I first started watching football as a youngster, because the very first game that I remember watching was the Vikings and Raiders.
Hmm.
So back in the Pat Summerall and John Madden days.
Right.
So, but yeah, man, I wish you well. Um, like I said, I didn't. My confidence and self esteem kept me from trying, uh, or trying out for sports and things like that. Like I played pickup basketball, things like that. But my confidence and all that, which is why I was asking those questions earlier on, that kept me from even trying. So
Hmm.
when I see like you got drafted and I see these people like living out their dream, that's the moment you wait for. You want to hear your name called.
Right. Right.
I'm genuinely happy for you, man.
Thank you.
So yeah, you're welcome. So I'm happy for you, your family. It's awesome. We talked before the draft, so um, when you get back home and you have time, I owe you a round of golf or top golf, whatever you want to do.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
So we can get in on that. Um, so when are you able to come back home? Like, are you up there for a while, or when's your camp over?
Yeah, I know I'm up here at least a few more weeks. The vets go home, get home in like a week or so, week and a half,
Yeah.
I think, after next week is over. Um, but probably towards the end of June is when I get to come home. Then I go back towards the end of July.
Oh, right on, right on. So you got a little bit of summer, about a month or so.
Yeah, I'll have at least a month off. I'm going to be going up to Dallas for a little bit, but majority of my time I'll be in DC, Maryland.
Oh, right on, right on. Well, if
Hmm.
you got time, we'll connect when you get home.
Yes,
Uh,
sir.
I got a bare spot on this wall right here where a jersey like that would look nice.
All right.
So if you can you get me a game worn jersey, I can frame it. We can do a jersey swap. Like I got a nice construction vest if you want that. But it doesn't compare. But there's a bare wall right there. So
Awesome. Yes, sir.
I
All
tell you
right.
what, hang tight. I'll show you something real quick.
Okay.
Hold on. Look at that.
Oh.
Yeah, Chris Cooley.
Ooh,
Yes,
that's
sir.
nice. Keep those. You gotta keep. That's nice.
I don't sell none of my stuff. Like people get autographs and I'm putting this on eBay. No, man. No, I don't care what it is. Gloves, a jersey. I don't care what it is, man. I'm keeping my stuff.
Priceless.
Yeah,
That's nice.
it's like it's a memory. You know what I mean? So
Hmm.
he had his art gallery out there in Virginia, and I went out there and I bought a piece of his pottery because he was an art major and that's what he did. And I picked up his cleats. I got the other one up there.
Wow, that's great.
So
I like that.
man, I love this stuff. Like I like to collect things that people don't have.
Hmm.
So, but yeah, man. I gotta get my wife back in the house. I told her I didn't want the dogs barking while I had this conversation. So she's outside right now, and
So,
I'm I might be on the couch. Who knows? But it was a good
no,
conversation.
no, that's my fault. Blame it on me. Blame it on me. I'm sorry. That just tell us it's my fault.
Hey, hey, no worries, man. No worries. I'm gonna go get her right now, man. But I appreciate your time.
Of
Um,
course.
we'll connect when you get back home, man.
Absolutely.
So enjoy your
Absolutely.
time and be safe, bro.
Will do. Thank you.
All right, man. Take it easy.
You too. Have a good night.
See ya.